and welcome to Marinsky March 2023, where every day in March we make a sausage recipe out of one of Adam and Stanley Marinsky's books. Last year we did home production of quality meats and sausage, which I think is one of the best sausage books out there still. It gives you the how and why behind what you're doing in sausage making. But this year we're doing recipes out of the new book, 1001 Greatest Sausage Recipes, which is a gift to us sausage makers and meat enthusiasts. Adam and Stan have traveled across Europe and North America for the last 20 years compiling recipes, and they put it all into this jumbo book. What's even better is Stanley has sent me 5 copies to give away to you guys over the course of the month, and all you got to do to get qualified is leave a comment in the videos, and I'll find you and I'll send you a copy if you're one of the lucky winners. So, without any further ado, let's get into 1001 Greatest Sausage Recipes by Adam and Stanley Marinsky. Hello, thanks for clicking on to another episode of Marinsky March, where we're picking sausages by random out of 1001 Greatest Sausage Recipes by Adam and Stanley Marinsky. And today we have randomly selected the Debowiecka from Poland. Did I say it right? Probably not. Debowiecka. Yeah, close enough. This is a Polish semi-dried sausage, and it's got a lot going on. It's 3 textured. One's emulsified, one's quite coarse, and the other one is like stew cubes. It is cured and smoked, but then it's also dried. So it's kind of going to be a cool one. So I've got everything prepared ahead of time. It calls for some pork with connective tissue, which I got here. We're going to do a double batch, so 2 kilograms, just about 5 pounds. And then we have there's the lean pork cubes up top. And then there's the semi-fat pork shoulder that just slid down there a little bit. So I'm going to grind that semi-fat pork through a 1/2-inch cube, so it's going to be pretty coarse ground. We're going to leave those stew cubes whole, kind of 1 to 2 inches. Can you see that? I'm not sure if you can see that. My screen's pretty small. So there's going to be a bunch of cubes in it. And then this is going to be a paste like Play-Doh or clay. So anyways, I got the grinder set up to run that semi-fat pork through. We'll just grind it on top of. Let's just see. A nice semi-fat pork. Looks beautiful. Would make a great sausage, straight up. Quick and easy. It goes through on a coarse plate, no problem. We can set that aside. I'm going to swap over to a little bit smaller plate and run that fattier connective pork tissue through, because we're going to run it through the food processor after this to get our paste. New plates on. That stuff came out of the freezer. Should still run through a finer plate nice and easily. And running it through a finer plate just makes it a little easier on your food processor to blend it into that fine paste. Pull up our food processor, which just got a much deserved break because it helped us make the mortadella about a half hour ago. It says to add all of the pure sugar spices during this step, and then I'll mix it into those cubes. So it's going to get a lot of spices, this little bit of meat. I have yet to tap out this little meat blender. It's a good one. Okay, in go our spices. We got some cured sugar, salt, pepper, garlic. That sounds pretty good. It just says pepper. Doesn't specify what kind. So I made a personal pick. I went with black pepper because I like seeing the little flakes in there. Better get our water ready to add. Let the blending commence. There we go, adding the water. Now, an emulsification gets lots of protein extraction because it cuts the ends of the meat fibers and exposes lots of protein, so it gets really sticky as is. But now we've added salt, which helps protein extraction, as well as other spices, so this mixture is going to be very sticky coming out of there. All right, that's it, blender. You've done your duty for this season. Till next year. Now look at that. That's like, look at it. It does such a good job. A single uniform texture. Excellent protein extraction. That's what you're looking for. Now we're going to add it to our other sausage mass and mix. All right, so the mass is pulled out. I had the camera off, but you should make a point You want to get as much out of that blender as you can because it has all our salt, seasonings, cure in it. I have just decided I'm going to deviate from the recipe instructions a little bit. It says to mix all this together, stuff firmly into 65mm casings and hang for 2 hours at room temperature. Then you're going to start smoking. But we have these really big cubes of lean pork. And we know how dry curing works. It takes about a centimeter a day to cure. It's going to penetrate from 4 sides on that cube. So I'm actually going to leave it in the refrigerator, I would say at least overnight, but probably 48 hours before I smoke them. You could go ahead straight ahead and start stuffing them, that's fine, but you probably want to give this 48 hours to cure. Also, it has no sodium erythorbate, so you want to definitely give it sufficient curing time. So we're going to make sure that emulsified mass makes good contact with everything, because like I said, that's where our cure is at. And we want to make sure that it gets onto all of those cubes. Try and get them as much contact as possible. And also that mass is going to act as the binder between all the spaces of this sausage, holding those 3 textures together. We've been mixing. I'll show you kind of what the mass looks like. I'm going to stuff it and let it marinate inside the casings though. There's the mass. The cubes are totally encapsulated by the emulsification, so we can go ahead and go to the stuffing step now. Get that Debowiecka packed in there nice and firmly. Scrape the container to get every ounce of that emulsification into the stuffer. And we got our 65mm casing. We'll sleeve on the horn. All right, let the air by as it compresses. Bring it tight. All right, and squeeze tight till the casing is good and full. It's gonna be a very cool looking sausage, I got a feeling, when we're done. Okay, voila, we've extracted the last little bit out of the tube, and now I'm just gonna leave it in the cooler for 48 hours. You can see vaguely there the multi-textures. It will be a very beautiful sausage in the end. Okay, I got the Debowiecka loaded into the smokehouse. I'm going to smoke it beside some summer sausages. It's been curing for a couple days now, so those big chunks of stew should be cured. So join those guys. I'm going to finish it in the smokehouse this time. I can't remember if I'm supposed to finish it in water or not. But the last couple I finished in water, I didn't like as much, so I'm going to finish them in the smokehouse, and I think I'll get a better product. There we go. The Debowiecka is finished. Looks nice and plump, and it won't lose any of that smoke. Okay, here's the Debowiecka. It says after the smoking step to hang it to dry out at 10 to 12 degrees Celsius, but I just popped it in this tote and had it in my cooler for about, I think this was 6 days after I smoked it, so it's dried down a little bit, but we'll take it out of the cooler and have a bite of it, I think. Okay, I nearly forgot a step. Actually, I did them in the wrong order. I dried it out in my cooler before I cold smoked it, so I should have cold smoked it first. I don't want to miss out on that smoky flavor, so I got the cold smoker rolling, as you can see, and I'll smoke them here for probably, it says 20 hours in the book, but I'm going to do 12 because I want to eat this tonight. Okay, I've pulled the Debowiecka in. Yeah, it was cold smoking most of this afternoon, so I got about 10 hours on it, and it smells really smoky right now, so I did a little bit of reverse order. The reason you would smoke it, cold smoke it like that, is so that no mold would develop while you hung it and dry it for those 2 days. But I dried it first and then smoked it, but it's not going to really affect it in the end. But it is going to be nice and smoky flavored, which is exciting. I like that. So should be very cool, multi-textured sausage. I'll show you as soon as I get it opened. Oh my, what a winner. Visual winner of the month. Look at that. Beautiful, right? Small emulsification chunks between those big cured pieces of ham. I am very pleased with how that looks. Protein extraction is absolutely perfect. That's a great looking sausage. Okay, so what remains is the taste test. Does it taste as good as it looks? I think it will. It's got some great spices in it. Salt, pepper, garlic, sugar, and lots of smoke is what I anticipate. Hopefully the pork we selected was good enough and it's not too chewy, those big chunks. I think it will be. Yum. I was reviewing the recipe after I cooked it in the smokehouse, and it just said to cook to an internal temperature of 70 degrees Celsius or 160 degrees Fahrenheit, something like that. So I finished it in the smokehouse versus some earlier ones I did this month, we poached to finish. And I really find when you finish it in the smokehouse, the flavors concentrate. This one is, not that the other ones were bad, the other ones were quite good, but this one is much better. The flavors are more concentrated. Yeah, and the meat is kind of like a more dense texture versus the other ones are kind of deli meat, grocery store shelf style. This one is much more dense. The flavors come across more profoundly, distinctly. So this is very, very, very good. The Debowiecka is better than, like, I'm thinking the Kosh salami, the Kawase, the Stadwurst, those ones we cooked in the water. This one is better, for sure. Not that the other ones are bad. This one's just significantly good. And if you thought this video was significantly good, leave a thumbs up and subscribe. And we make a video like this every day in March. Thanks for watching the Debowiecka, guys. Take care.